I went back 12 years later or so, 2 years ago, and I took two members of my staff, Dale and John, and I suppose maybe at this point I'll say that anyone in the room who's running a business and wondering whether it might be a good idea to contribute to Send a Cow, I've got to do my plug here. I mean, we find employing people today, I employ 600 people, and actually becoming a kind of destination employer where people really want to work is incredibly important and becoming more important every year. I think especially with the new generation who I think tend to be quite idealistic and they want to feel they're contributing to the world. And if you can engender that within your company, I think that makes it much easier to attract and retain good staff. So that's just, it's part of its altruism, but I have to say working with Send a Cow I think has worked really well for Riverford as well, and a lot of our staff really identify with the work that we do. That's the other thing, if you give any money to Send a Cow, when I first went there, I'd say there are lots of charities. The first time I went to Africa, and you go to Murchison's Falls National Park, there's a big fancy hotel there. The first time I went there, I tell you, there were all these white Toyotas and so on with loads of whip aerials coming out of them, and they were all aid workers. I'm sorry, but there were no Send a Cow aid workers there. The Send a Cow aid workers, these two, they go around on a motorbike, a pretty old motorbike. You know, they travel for days around northern Uganda, visiting villages like this, and there's a sort of recognition that they get. It was incredible to see how warmly they were welcomed into the community and how much it seemed to be recognised, how much they were changing people's lives. I guess to back up again what Simon said, this was a guy called Devon who I met right up in the north of near the Sudanese border. And I think I was in his hut trying to get out of the sun actually, and he came in and asked, what's this drawing on the wall all about? And he launched into his dream. He seemed to be the kind of main guy I think he was the leader of the Send a Cow group. And he said, well, it's a picture of what I'm going to achieve. So he said he'd already set up a microfinance thing in his village. And he had a motorbike, and when then he was going to get a car, and then he was going to get a truck, and then they were going to build a store to store the grain in and so on, and a shop. And you know, his determination was astonishing, really. And I think there is, you know, that entrepreneurial zeal and drive is absolutely there in Africa. This guy wasn't going to need our help, not for long. I knew if you go back and see him in 5 years, he was going to have achieved this. You just absolutely knew, listening to him. All he needed was a little bit of a hand up. He didn't need a handout, and I think handouts, I'm incredibly cynical about charity. I've been to a lot of African countries and seen, especially in West Africa, the negative impact of handouts and the dependency that can result from that. And I think Send a Cow, I've just seen, actually one of the guys we were travelling with was so upset by some of the things that he saw. He really just kept on wanting to get his wallet out. And he was really advised that by Send a Cow, this was a really bad idea, and actually he did on certain occasions, and I heard later the effect that had. And anyway, handouts are not a good idea, but giving people half a chance and they will help themselves, that was absolutely what I saw in Uganda. It's absolutely what I saw Send a Cow achieving in a wonderfully patient but persistent way.